Here we go then, Manchester United looking to avoid 3 consecutive top-flight games, although we've got slightly 2 ahead of ourselves here. And when Mel Bergin is finally happy that the West Ham players haven't encroached from kick-off, we will be able to take 2. So West Ham United targeting back-to-back league wins for the first time in nearly 2 years. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Max Jones. Alongside me is former WSL and England defender Fern Whelan. A belated happy birthday to you, Fern. The international break couldn't have come at a better time for Manchester United, who of course had their struggles, but how frustrating must it have been for West Ham, who had just managed to get into their stride?
Yeah, definitely. You know, they picked up that win against Everton, 3-1 win, very convincing win for them as well. So it was a perfect time for them to get going with their season after putting their points on the board. So yeah, as you say, I think they'll be disappointed. But on the other side, Manchester United, now they've had a chance to kind of really rectify where they went into this. They conceded 8 goals in the last 2 in all competitions. So for them, it's going to be about getting a clean sheet today and then being more aggressive in that forward box and putting the ball in the back of the net as early as possible, I think, and putting the game to bed early for Manchester United.
The first opportunity they have comes 1 minute in. Jade Rivier with a trademark long throw-in from this right-hand side, the Canadian. United have sent the bodies forward. Mallard, one of those in there. Janssen has joined the attack too. She's beaten in the air by Asayi, who will continue to lead the charge for the Hammers and win the free kick as well.
It's good early pressure there from Ziggy. I think maybe a little bit too much pressure to give the foul away, but it shows good intent from Manchester United and how they're starting to try to press early in this game.
Off goes Uweki, muscled out of the way by Letizier. There's someone who is playing with plenty of confidence at the moment, starting both of England's friendlies against China and Ghana. Outright centre-back in a position which she has made her own, of course, for Manchester United, and will hope to do so in the long-term future for the Lionesses as well. Martinez with the flick on, Riviere away. And here's Una Siren. One back by Gori. It's the return to Miyazawa, snapping at her heels, is able to win back possession. She's such an important player at the base of the Manchester United midfielder, the Japanese international. Here's Toon. Looking for support from Melvin Mallard. On her way to goal, and then the shot came in from Miyazawa. It did take a nick on its way through. It will be a Manchester United corner. And King Ashemik was rooted to the spot.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of play out on that left-hand side with the interchange between Mallard and Ella Toon, and Miyazawa just being ready for it on the edge of the box. And as you say, took a deflection on the way past, but Ashemik, I'm not sure if she thought she had it covered or not there.
We'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say it was confident goalkeeping by someone who knew her angles, but the deflection could have taken it anywhere. In it comes from Zigiotti. Mallard was climbing. Nystrom did just enough to usher that one away. She really is such a threat in all areas of the pitch, Melvin Mallard. And she scored in this fixture during her initial loan from Lyon 2 years ago, before making that move permanent in 2024. Anna Sandberg this time delivering away inside the 6-yard box, only out as far as Miyazawa. And now Park. Twisting and turning, utilising her close control. But West Ham have an opportunity to counter here, and they have pace coming forward. It's Fionn Morgan. Martinez to her right, to say he's up there too. It goes Martinez's way inside the penalty area, and it was a vital, crucial interception by Jade Riviere.
I think that's where Manchester United are going to have to be really switched on today. Yes, going forward, they go in numbers, but when the ball changes over, it's that quick transition, and are they in position to be able to defend, especially when they've got players like Morgan who can drive and at pace and really get at their back line.
Siren, nice bit of close control herself. Evades everyone, only goes out to Morgan, who is fresh off the back of making her 50th appearance for Wales and trying to create for West Ham. Now she's back in the starting 11, replacing Anouk Denton in the wing-back area. It is a formation that Rianne Skinner is pretty wedded to now. There's three at the back with the very attacking wing-backs. On this occasion, it's Fionn Morgan on the right and Verena Hanshaw on the left.
Yeah, and I think it could have been quite easy for her, couldn't it, to have tried to chop and change those formations, especially the three at the back, given how many goals they leaked so early on, and obviously they've conceded 20 goals already this season so far. But you know, they are getting the performances. It's just about getting the points on the board.
Running back towards their own goal at some pace there as Mallard looked to try to feed Anna Sandberg. It is, of course, the Skinner derby in the dugouts this afternoon. Rianne taking on Mark in the clash of the Women's Super League's most experienced managers. Between them, they've actually taken charge of 150 top-flight games in England. When their sides meet on the pitch, it tends to be Mark who walks away with the all-important points. But, as we've mentioned, Rianne is starting to see her side click into gear that bit more this season. They've started this game pretty positively too.
They have started positively. It's now about when they do have possession, what they do with it and how they utilise possession. And as I say, if they can keep hold of the ball in vital areas, that's where they'll challenge Manchester United the most.
Miyazawa finds Sterling. One back by Endo. Here's Zueki on the... who's come more central now and trying to get in possession, but Manchester United will continue to press in midfield. That midfield three works so well together. Miyazawa, Ziyotti and Toon. Martinez. While we're talking about the passing, Manchester United have actually recorded more 10-plus passing sequences than any other WSL team this season. That goes some way to show the type of football that Mark Skinner is keen to play here in the Northwest. Actually averaging close to 600 passes per WSL game. 2 times the number of West Ham.
Which is, it's brilliant, isn't it, how much, you know, they've increased that and the possession stats, but in the last 2 they failed to score and no shots on target versus Manchester City. So for today, for them, it's about how they're aggressive in the opposition's box and ultimately getting the shots on target and really challenging the goalkeeper in the West Ham goal in the net.
Here's Park looking to do just that, threading one through for Toon. The two of them obviously combining so well this season since Park traded Sky Blue for red. Letizia. Towards Sterland. Here's Toon. One back by Siren, but it's only at the expense of giving it straight back to the Red Devils. Toon, clever pass, trying to release Sandberg. Diligent defending by Martinez.
Yeah, I was going to say, they work so hard, the West Ham forwards, especially coming back and defending. We saw Martinez do it there, Anu Aiki as well.
Letizia went for goal. It was speculative. Many times that she has scored this season have been from the penalty spots.
She does like a shot from distance, Maya Le Tissier, though, and she will do that, especially if she finds that the space opens up in front of her. She's not afraid to take a striker goal just wide on that occasion.
Part of the benefit of being captain, surely. You can take the executive decision in those situations.
A little bit more freedom, as we say, a bit of executive leadership there.
Gorry. Not the kindest of back passes for Shemek, but managed to get that one as far away from danger as possible. Ueki turning away from Zigiotti, which is exactly what Gorry does to Mallard too. Confident play by the visitors.
They've got such a dangerous front three, West Ham, and the likes of Ueki, Martinez, Asai. It's about how can they get the ball into them early, especially when those gaps open up in between the Manchester United back line and the midfield as well, and the spaces we saw them just open up there. It's how they capitalise on when they do get those opportunities.
As we mentioned, they picked up their first win of the season on match day 9 against Everton. West Ham. The last time that they did win back-to-back league matches did come back in February 2024. That was when they beat Bristol City and then Arsenal. So could this be a similar level of shock against a side looking to compete for European football next season?
Yeah, and if you're looking at the goals that, you know, the games that they've played, West Ham, over the last couple of games, they've been low-scoring games compared to the first couple of games. The Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, they were heavy defeats, and that's where a lot of their goals conceded came from. But defensively, they have got a lot better over the last couple of games. So they'll be looking to do so again today. They're still yet to record a clean sheet. So I'm sure that'll be one of Rhian Skinner's real targets for today's game.
It's funny you mention that, Fern, because their last clean sheet in this competition did come against Manchester United back in April, a goalless draw. So they were able to secure a point in East London. Martinez looking for Vivienne Asai, who managed to get a yard of space away from Rivier. United had enough players back to block her route through to goal.
Yeah, and if she could have just opened up a little bit of a body, she had Hanshaw coming in out on this left-hand side as well to support the play.
Hanshaw, coincidentally, one of those players who has been so unlucky in front of goal this season. Still yet to open up her WSL account this campaign, but she has hit the woodwork more than any other player this season. Rivier able to get to the byline, hang one up towards that far post. Mallard's just trying to get something on it, but has forced the corner.
Yeah, a good little bit of play down this right-hand side from Jess Park. Does really well just to evade Hanshaw, uses her body aggressively, and I think she's got the energy to do this time after time, Jess Park, and she brings in Rivier down on this right-hand side, who just stands it up to the back post, and Mallard tries to keep it alive, but it's really good defending from Morgan.
Jess Park having such a good season, 4 goals, 2 assists in the WSL. Zigiotti's delivery this time, it's caught Shemek out. And West Ham will frantically clear their lines, out only as far as Miyazawa. Clip it back in, and there is the chance for Turlen. It's a brilliant stop. Reaction save at first, and then desperate last-ditch defending. Asai it was, throwing herself in front of the shot. West Ham keep Manchester United at bay, but they came so close to conceding.
They came so close to conceding, but I think this is what we're going to have to see from West Ham today if they're going to get anything out of this game. It's fantastic last-ditch defending from Viv Asai there in West Ham United's box.
Shemek passes her first test of the afternoon. And then she is very grateful to her defenders for their unselfish work rate ahead of her. Sandberg's ball in this time, met at the near post by Ueki. Toon was being pressed by Martinez. There's an ever-changing front three for West Ham United at the moment. Asai, Ueki and Martinez all just switching positions, filling in the gaps. And that's a late challenge from Asai.
It's a late challenge, but again, I'm loving the intensity from West Ham when they are defending. It's how long they can obviously keep that up within the game, but yeah, you see she just catches her late, doesn't she? But the minute that ball goes, they're looking to press West Ham and they're looking to get in the faces of the Manchester United players.
Excluding penalties this season, West Ham United have conceded from a set piece in 6 of their 9 games in the top flight. He'll be tested with another delivery here, but Šemić gratefully receives the cross from Zigiotti. Beautifully done by Jess Park. Really enjoying her football at the moment. Just given the licence to float almost in that front line for Manchester United.
You see West Ham just looking to drop off a little bit deeper. They're now falling deeper and deeper within their own half. They're not actually getting that press on early. They're allowing Manchester United to come onto them, and then when it does get into dangerous areas, that's when they are getting onto their press a little bit more.
And this is where Manchester United can catch them cold. Zigiotti threading one through. And saved again by Šemić, denying Terlen for the second time in the last couple of minutes. Rivier keeping things alive. Zigiotti's cross this time is away by Handshot. Letizier looking to inject a bit more pace into this Manchester United attack, having forced Šemić into the save a matter of seconds ago. It's the pullbacks to Mallard. Oh, she was picked out really well from the right-hand side, just couldn't keep the shot down.
Yeah, Rivier does so well to get the cross in. Mallard's going to be so disappointed with that she's not managed to get that on target. For someone who scores goals like we know she can, yeah, she'll be really disappointed not to get trouble Šemić on that occasion.
She's a player, Melvin Mallard, who has been in good form in European football, scored in each of her last 2 Women's Champions League appearances against PSG and Wolfsburg, but not in any of her last 3 in the WSL.
I still think when West Ham have the ball, though, they can be tidier in possession. Again, we're seeing them just force it longer times when they are in comfortable possession. And again, it's just making it easy for Manchester United to then obviously go at them, and now they're having to retreat and get themselves back into shape again.
Letizier. Almost every West Ham player behind the ball. As you say, Fern, they are getting deeper and deeper. Zigiotti, 2, clever. Rivier, Šemić able to claim.
You see, as West Ham United are getting deeper and deeper, we are seeing Manchester United, obviously their full-backs joining in more, getting higher. Jade Rivier down this right-hand side, causing all sorts of problems. Even when West Ham are dropping into that back 5, which you've seen them do. Obviously, Šemić staying alive in the goal, but it's almost, can they keep the ball a little bit longer, West Ham? Just relieve the pressure off themselves a little bit.
And short. Now dragging West Ham back downfield. That's a good ball. Here's Ueki. Rivier back to defend. Picked up by Siren, but it was a loose touch. It invited Melvin Mallard to pinch back possession. And West Ham can just get themselves reset at the back. trying to take a bit of the sting out of the Manchester United momentum, and perhaps even better than that, Asseyi getting in behind, looking for Martinez. Brilliant defensive header that by Janssen. Game just starting to open up that bit more. Sigiotti looking for Turlan on the move. Šemić with a very clear early call. And now Tiziak to just leave it for the Polish goalkeeper. Now Bergin has just stopped play here. It's Jade Rivier who's clutching. Was clutching the back of her leg to begin with, but based on her reaction there, the thumbs up to the sidelines. We're hoping it may be just an impact one.
Yeah, it looks like she's lunged, doesn't it? Really lunged in for the tackle there, but you said originally holding the back of her leg, but she looked to be in quite a bit of discomfort.
Well, this is always the concern when the area of focus is on the knee. Again, she does keep going back to the back of her leg. Given the prevalence of ACL injuries that we're seeing, especially in the past 12 months, it's always going to be a concern.
Especially with the way she's playing today, even if, you know, let alone ACL injuries, but she's doing so well down this right-hand side, Rivier, that actually she started the game so well. She was to have to go off. It'd be a big loss to Manchester United so early on in the game.
Well, that's a more positive sign, at least. She's still feeling something, Jade Rivier. She has only missed one WSL game this season against Arsenal, right at the start of the campaign. Almost an ever-present in that Manchester United back line.
Yeah, and someone that does so well, not just in offensive areas so much as we've seen her do today, but again defensively, I think she's a very good defender. She's aggressive in the way she plays and presses, and again she's a tidy player on the ball, and we've seen what she's do here in terms of creating chances in the box and crosses early into the box as well. So yeah, she's looking to get back onto the pitch.
That is a good sign that she's willing to give it another go midway into this first half.
Yeah, and with the busy run of games they've got Manchester United as well, you know, they'll be wanting to keep every player injury-free and fit, with, you know, Lyon coming up midweek in the Champions League and Tottenham following that as well. So they've got a busy run of games coming up, and they'll be needing to keep players fit and available for those games.
Away to Juventus after, and then the Women's League Cup quarter-final against Tottenham on the 21st. Competing on 3 fronts there. They need all their best players fit and available, because it has been tricky for them this season. They do play a high-pressing, aggressive brand of football under Skinner. Their energy certainly started to dip a bit more after a really fast start against Wolfsburg last time out. That allowed the Germans back into the game. They will be treating this match after a bit of rest and recovery during the international break. There's a chance to build some confidence ahead of the small matter of playing the 8-time Women's Champions League winners Lyon on Wednesday.
Oh, what a fantastic opportunity that is for these players, obviously in their debut season in the Champions League, to come up against some unbelievably experienced players within that Champions League. And you know, this Manchester United side, when they are on their game, they're a very, very difficult side to come up against, and especially with strikers in form, Mallard and Turland, and they can make things really, really difficult and, you know, really dangerous forwards to come up against.
Turland is someone whose best form has come in the Women's Champions League, albeit the qualifying stage. 7 goals in 3 games. That included hat-tricks against PSV and Brann. But although she started the last 6 WSL games, it's been just the 1 goal. Looking to change that now, though, but the ball just escaping her, and she went sliding in as well. Desperate lunge there on Katrina Gorry, and that one's going to be the game's first yellow card.
Yeah, I'm not sure she can have too many arguments with that, to be honest, as the ball got loose and away from her. It's a late lunge from Thailand. See it again here. Yeah, the ball's just got away from her. She's nowhere near it. Catches Gorry really late on.
She's a physical striker, we know that from her time at Brighton as well. And Gorry is certainly someone, despite her diminutive frame, who relishes the physical nature of the game. Coincidentally, she had a very positive international break back home in Australia, scored and assisted in the Matildas' 5-0 routs of New Zealand last week. Passing radar slightly off there.
Yeah, again, just another unforced error, isn't it, that we're seeing too often a little bit in this first half from West Ham. You say they've got the players, and they've got the players with quality. It's about getting the ball to them and getting it to their feet, and the percentage balls and the 50-50 longs balls are making it quite difficult for them to actually get a foothold in the game.
Toon combining with Sandberg. Tillman will drop deep, and here's Miyazawa. Zigiotti threading one through for Park to stand up another cross. Rivier will retrieve. Letizier invited to step out of defence. Not quite on the same wavelength as Elizabeth Turland. Here's Miyazawa, shooting opportunity perhaps. Didn't quite sit for her, it might sit for Sandberg, and then Toon. Ella Toon going for goal. And bounced into the chest of Kinga Shemek quite favourably in the end.
Yeah, the space isn't quite there, is it, in behind the West Ham defence? You see them going back into this back 5. They get themselves compact really early, so it's forcing Manchester United to have to take the shots from distance, which at the moment is suiting West Ham.
We spoke about United's struggles in front of goal, failing to score in their last 2 WSL matches, having scored 19 in their opening 7. They've never gone 3 league games without scoring since they reformed back at the start of the 2018-19 season.
Yeah, and if you're coming up a team that's conceded 20 goals in the league already so far, you'd be fancying your chances to get yourself back into goal-scoring form.
Morgan putting Sandberg on the back foot there, winning West Ham United a throw-in. She will look to go long with. Martinez Zueki gather at that near post. Siren's the short option for her too. Easy for Dominique Janssen to deal with. And off goes Melvin Mallard. She's a strong runner, she's a quick runner. Lost her footing. And allowed West Ham United to get back in their numbers, but yet again, it's the pass out from the back, which has just lacked quality. Even Nystrom, the guilty party this time.
Yeah, lacking quality in possession, but I did like the way they got back in numbers there defensively. The attitude to defend was spot on, getting themselves back into position really on to, you know, to stall the offence from Manchester United and their counter.
Rhian Skinner is always speaking very positively about the mentality of this group, how they never let her down. They're having to work hard here to preserve their clean sheet as Rivier fires that one across the face of goal. And look who's back there defending once more, Martinez, which is exactly what her manager would have asked of her right at the start of the game. Just keep things solid and we'll still have a chance of nicking something here, I imagine would have been the message pre-match.
Yeah, and I think as leaky as they have been defensively over the course of the season so far, I think what's really stuck out for me for them is the attitude of these players and the desire to kind of get themselves back in games and stay in games, and that hunger. I think at times, we've seen them, well, we see where they are at the table at the moment, they're 11th, but when you look at the performance and the way they play, they don't look like a side that potentially should be in the relegation zone at times. It's, costly errors that have led to the goals that they've conceded. So, yeah, for me, it looks like they do have that good attitude and that good culture as a squad to kind of stick together, especially in the difficult moments.
Tends to be with West Ham this season, just periods of games where they switch off. There's a lack of focus. It allows the other team to exploit that, but they've lost that particular trait in recent weeks. They're starting to build something. They have an opportunity here to test Fallon Tullis-Joyce in the Manchester United goal. Essay delivers, and Tullis-Joyce responds quite emphatically, flying in like a masked superhero.
Yeah, we've not seen her be tested or really seen her in the game so far, Fallon Tullis-Joyce, but this is what she's there and this is what she's capable of. She's a big presence within that Manchester United goal and she will come and claim everything. So, West Ham, when they do have those opportunities for free kicks, it might be getting it down and playing and, challenging the back line a little bit, because Tullis-Joyce will come for everything in the air.
She makes such a difference, doesn't she, to the confidence of the Manchester United back line as well. Conceded 9 times in 3 games without her, compared to just 7 in 14 with her.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference when you've got a goalkeeper behind you. As a former central defender, when I've got a goalkeeper behind me that I know is giving commands, is confident, is assured, it just gives you that confidence and that freedom in front to be able to go forward and play, knowing that you're covered behind in the goal behind.
Still, United continue to pass the ball around and get those numbers up. So far, no dice from this West Ham United defence. Half an hour gone here, and you see 40% of the game has taken place inside the West Ham United penalty area. Still no breakthrough.
No, I think with those 3 at the back, obviously you'd expect the areas for Manchester United to find the space would be in those wide areas and in the channels. But when you've got Hanshaw coming back and defending deep and dropping into that 5, it's condensing the space in wide areas as well and just making it a little bit more difficult for Manchester United. Need to get the ball down and play it a little bit quicker.
West Ham with some better building from the back. Wakey trying something a bit different, looking for Martinez. They did actually have a player over on the far side, West Ham. Not spotted by Wakey. Gorry in particular is looking very comfortable in midfield.
She is, and I think she'll be key for them today in terms of not only defensively, but when they do get on the ball, linking that defence through midfield and into attack.
Again, Samba beating Phil Morgan to it and using her experience to just turn away from danger. Anna Samba quietly going about having a very good season, actually. He's attempted more tackles and made more blocks than any other Manchester United player in the WSL this season. Of course, she scored that absolute screamer here against Chelsea as well. Mallard to the byline, winning another Manchester United corner.
Yeah, doing exactly what Mark Skinner's asked of her there. when he was saying in his presser before the game, he wants players to drive at people, wants to dribble and drive and try and take people on and cause them problems, and you see she's trying to do just that, and Endo does well defensively from a West Ham perspective, but they'll need more and more of that, Manchester United.
So another corner from the left-hand side to be delivered by Julia Zigiotti. This one much more height on it, and Terland's got herself far too underneath it, the Norwegian. Well over the crossbar in the end.
Yeah, when a ball's delivered in like that from a corner and it's lofted into the box, it gives defenders time and space to open their body up, and yes, nowhere really near Terland there, but again, it's quite an easy one to defend when the ball's so looped up from a corner.
Miyazawa. Now two. Again, finding the gaps in this West Ham back three. What a lovely touch that was by Mallard. Forced away from goal. Here's Zigiotti. Trying to be a bit too cute on the edge of the penalty area, Manchester United. She took it down wonderfully though, didn't she, Melvin Mallard? There was a second where perhaps you wondered whether she was going to go for the spectacular overhead kick. She opted against that. West Ham again managed to pack their own penalty area and just get enough players between her and the goal to prevent the shots.
Yeah, like you say, I thought she was just going to try and swivel there and try and unleash one on a player, you know, who scores goals like she can. I wouldn't have been surprised if she'd attempted it, given how much confidence she's probably in at the moment. But again, West Ham doing well just to get themselves back into position and shape, and they seem a lot more organised defensively.
Drop of the shoulder from Jade Rivier. And now two. Janssen joining the attack, punching one out to the feet of Sandberg. He gets around Morgan far too easily. That's a brilliant ball, and that is such a well-worked goal by Manchester United. Elizabeth Terland's given the simplest of tasks, and it was all made on the left-hand side by Anna Sandberg. Such an inviting cross, and she was able to apply the finishing touch. Manchester United lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, when you're asking your wide players to deliver a ball into the box, Sandberg does just that, puts it on a plate for Elizabeth Terland inside the 6-yard box. Terland does really well just to stay alert and stay adrift of Amber Tisiak, but it's the work here from Sandberg. She does so well, gets her head up, delivers the ball in early, and it's a confident finish from Elizabeth Terland. West Ham will be disappointed given how well they've defended so far within this game.
The third goal in the WSL this season for Elizabeth Terland. It was all about the cross from the left-hand side. Let's take nothing away from the positioning and the anticipation of the striker as well.
Yeah, no, she did so well just to peel off the shoulder of the defender. Just makes it really, really difficult to mark when you do that, because you have to check both sides. You have to be looking as to where the ball's coming in from the cross, but you've also got to have your body open to defend the centre forward as well, and on that occasion they couldn't do so because she got herself in a fantastic position in between the two centre halves.
And that will make Mark Skinner feel much better going into half-time. I do wonder what it will do for the home side's confidence as well. Do they go for a second before the interval and really try to see the game off as well? They have won each of their last 5 home games against West Ham United in the WSL era by an aggregate of 17 goals to nil. And they've scored at least twice before half-time in 3 of the last 4. So it does tend to happen, this quick-fire goal scoring from the Red Devils. For West Ham, it's just about refocusing and getting back to what they were doing so well.
Yeah, it's really important for West Ham that they take confidence in the way they've approached this game and the way they've played over the last 35 minutes or so, and kind of not capitulate, given that Manchester United will now try and get themselves on top and try and get another goal before the half is up. So West Ham obviously defended really well. It's just a switched off moment. It's how they get themselves back in the game now.
West Ham did actually beat Manchester United 3-2 in the first ever WSL meeting between these sides under Matt Beard. That was back in December 2019, but they have been winless in 10 straight league meetings with the Red Devils since then. It is always going to be a tough ask, especially with some key players absent as well. Got 5 minutes to try to find a response before the interval. But Manchester United have their tails up right now. And they're on the attack again. Miyazawa.
Yeah, and if they can continue to do what they just did, Manchester United, and find those spaces in the wide area and double up on the fullback, especially when players like Sandberg and Rivier join in those wide areas, it makes it so difficult for West Ham to defend against.
Two for Mallard. Bit of trickery from the France international. Oh, it's been won back, and here's Jess Park. Turland and Zigiotti with her. Turland looking to grab a second of the game, and Zigiotti unable to adjust. A big save by Kinga Shemik. Still there on the attack with Toon. Really, really good defensive header, that by Nystrom. And again, West Ham United are indebted to their Polish goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think the West Ham defence will breathe a sigh of relief here as well, with Willow Akey as well. Jess Park doing really well just to drive the Manchester United side forward, and Turland getting a strike on goal, but Shemik with a fantastic save, and Zigiotti can't quite adjust her feet to try and get the rebound there. I think West Ham just breathing a little sigh of relief. Good defending again as it came across the 6-yard box.
About to be tested from another corner. This time Shemik punches. Siran had to get the block in. Miyazawa. Just did see her score an absolute scorcher against Liverpool on match day 4. That one was charged down before almost it even left her foot. And it was late by the Japanese international on Asei.
Asei does well there just to retain possession for me here. I think she allows the challenge to come in late, buys the free kick a little bit, but I think she realised she was outnumbered, isolated. I think she had about 3 Manchester United players around her, and she's got a team of free kick in an important area.
Experienced play by the 32-year-old on this near side. He now has an opportunity to send another ball into the box. Number Tiziak at the top of your screen there. One of the clear targets. It's gone a bit short, but it will work its way all the way through, and Shakira Martinez found that ball agonisingly rolling ahead of her.
Slightly different approach there from West Ham. Instead of what we were saying before about drilling the ball in too high and it holding up for Tulloch's Joyce, they've gone straight into Uehi and tried to get a little flick on. A little bit more creative, trying to make it a little bit more difficult for Manchester United, and I like to see that from them, making thinking things through a little bit more.
Samba clears her lines. As ever, the willing runner of Turland, trying to chase this one down. Confident play by Hanshaw. Tiziak under pressure. West Ham need to be careful they don't overplay in these situations. be swept up by Letizia.
Yeah, I think really actually impressive just from the start of that press there was Jess Park for me. Just the energy she showed there just to start the press. It set the tempo for the rest of the team. It could have been easy for Manchester United to sit off there, but, you know, she keeps that energy up.
Morgan up against Mallard. Here's Nystrom.
The referee indicates a minimum of 3 minutes on each side.
3 minutes for West Ham to try to get themselves back on level terms before the interval. But that has unfortunately been all too common in their first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure she thought she was under more pressure there. Another unforced error really from West Ham needlessly when they had good possession in good positions, and they had Martinez and Asai, you know, waiting for the transition and waiting to get on the ball. So yeah, they'll be needing to kind of get that eradicated from their game in the second half and look after the ball a little bit better, because they have had good spells of possession at times.
So maybe more of a mentality tweak at half-time for Rhian Skinner rather than anything too tactical. Doesn't need to be rushed into making any substitutions or panicked by that at all.
Yeah, and potentially are they getting the, you know, is the communication there across the team? Like, are they telling each other that you've got more time and space on the ball when they do get in those positions? Foul from Tisiak there, obviously.
I don't think there can be any arguments about that one. Let her know you're there. Not quite from the Thurn-Whelan school of defending.
No, it was a little bit clumsy, that, wasn't it? Letting them know you're there, not a problem, but yeah, jumping on the back, slightly different.
Here's Tullis Joyce. Oh, that's better pressure from Martinez. And the German can count herself unlucky that that ball didn't bounce in her favour. She made up a lot of ground there to close down the American.
Yeah, maybe that'll give West Ham just a little bit of a glimpse of confidence, just to show what they can do if they get themselves in good starting positions and they get the press right. They can put pressure on the Manchester United goalkeeper and back line.
Sometimes that's all it takes, isn't it? A big tackle. And closing down the goalkeeper. Someone who we know is so experienced, is so well respected in world football, but if there is just an element of weakness there, something to certainly boost the morale.
Yeah, and just an element maybe of a little bit of complacency, not being challenged too much within the first half. Have you got the concentration to try and stay in the game for the whole time? West Ham potentially had the opportunity to capitalise on that.
Bit of space here for Fionn Morgan. Two arriving in the penalty area. One of them's Martinez, and there was Asai, who just couldn't sort her feet out at the far post. And that will go down as West Ham United's biggest opportunity of the first half.
Yeah, Morgan with the cross does so well. I think Rivier gets just enough pressure on Asai to maybe wrong-footer there right at the last. But again, it will give them confidence going into the second half that more and more of these opportunities potentially may come up for them in the second half.
Well, Turlan's goal is the difference between these two sides. West Ham United have made Manchester United work for it, but at the interval, it is Manchester United 1, West Ham United 0. Find his key players a lot faster and try to make Kinga Shemik work that bit more in the West Ham United goal, as she was for the first half. Fern Whelan alongside me. Fern, how do you feel as though those half-time team talks would have gone for the respective managers?
Yeah, I think if you're Manchester United and you're Mark Skinner, I think he's going in saying they've got to put their chances away. Say it's only 1-0, so the game is very much still alive. But Manchester United had 12 shots and 5 of them on target. So for me, they're not capitalising in front of goal enough. And I think potentially that's might have been what Mark Skinner will have been saying. But for West Ham, they've had 0 shots on target. They've not made Tullis-Joyce work at all. So for them, it's about how they can do that in the second half and, you know, try and actually make themselves look dangerous and get in front of this, getting behind the Manchester United back line, because they've not really made the goalkeeper work at all.
And there is such a fine balancing act, isn't there, between trying to solidify your defence and then still have enough adventure going forwards. Coincidentally, West Ham United this season have faced more shots than any other side. They have the highest expected goals against, regardless of what you feel about those expected goals statistics. They are somewhat of an indicator of just how a team is performing defensively. We mentioned their last clean sheet in this competition came against Manchester United back in April. Obviously, that's gone today, but they have now got the chance to be that bit more aggressive going forward, and, you know, almost nothing to lose here in this second half.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at it from that respect, and defensively, you know, they kept Manchester United out for at least 35 minutes within the first half, and they were organised, they were defending in numbers, they were making it compact and making it difficult for Manchester United. But I think the way, obviously, if they're looking to get themselves back into this game, they do have to make Tullis-Joyce work in the opposition goal. Especially with the players they've got in that front three. You're looking at Asahi, Ueki, Martinez, they've got goal-scoring capability and abundance there. And whether they're playing more so as individuals rather than a front three, I'm yet to see them link up really well as a three. So I think I'd like to see more of that from them in this second half.
Martinez, a player who has 4 goals in her last 3 appearances ahead of today's game. Yet to really get a sniff as Manchester United come forward. Jess Park to the byline. Just running away from her on a very greasy pitch.
But that's what she'll bring to this side, isn't it, Jess Park? Like that energy, that never say die attitude. She's not letting the ball out. She's trying to keep the move alive, and that'll be really important for Manchester United in this second half. She's been a key player for them so far this season.
In the Manchester United shirt, at least, it always seems as though she's playing with a smile on her face too. It's so nice to watch Jess Park when she is really playing at 100%.
It is, and that enjoyment seems to translate into performances, doesn't it? She seems to be playing with that bit of freedom on the pitch, and, you know, the ability to just want to take players on, join in attacks, and the out of possession as well. You can't be mistaken how much she does for them defensively as well. She actually is, you know, really key to the way they defend in transitions, Jess Park.
She's almost the one that triggers the press, isn't she, on a number of occasions for her side. And it was through winning the ball back pretty high up the pitch that Manchester United were able to take the advantage, thanks to a cross from Anna Sandberg, just at the bottom of your screen now. There's another direct ball. This time Turlen forced wide. Mallard the option inside the area. Tiziak was in the way. It will be a Manchester United corner.
But that is a perfect ball from Maya Le Tissier there, and she's picked it at the right moment, at the right time. When you're playing long as a centre-back, you've got to look to see where the space is. You know, are the defence set up? Is there spacing behind the back line and the goalkeeper? And she sees it. She sees the space, and it's a perfectly timed pass, perfectly weighted, and finds Turland into the space. So I think for me, it's when you do your moments, and now it's obviously won them a corner really early on in the second half, but a fantastic early pass from Le Tissier.
Her role is to now stand on the toes of Kinga Shemek. Sandberg goes a bit higher and a bit deeper towards Toon. It was going to be an audacious attempt on goal. Almost coming down with snow on it, that ball.
Yeah, she's laughing because she couldn't quite connect with it too in there, could she? But it was a difficult one to connect with it. Had that much time in the air from Sandberg, obviously didn't connect with it how she wanted to.
Asahi, see what she was trying, looking for Gori. Manchester United had players well placed, and there is Jess Park pouncing on the loose ball. Unable to link up with Mallard.
Yeah, Malad almost needed to stop running there and just try and receive the ball to feet from Park. I think a little bit of miscommunication between the two.
Manchester United haven't been great here on home turf recently. 2 points from a possible 9 in their last 3 home games, following draws against Arsenal, Chelsea, and then losing against Aston Villa. That means they've won just one of their 4 home Women's Super League games so far this season. That was the 4-0 win over Leicester on match day 1. Puts them 7 out of 12 in the home form table. West Ham United away, well, they're yet to earn a single point on the road in the top flight this season. Playing 4, losing 4, they've only scored once. Today's goal was the 8th time that they have conceded on the road. Now Bergen this time, defending for United. Sigiotti trying to see the funny side. It'll be a drop ball in West Ham United's favour.
It was a wry smile, wasn't it? I'm not sure she found it that funny.
I think the argument will be, where was Gori's first touch actually travelling to?
Yeah, it wasn't exactly under control.
They have to keep their distance here, United, which will be interesting to see just what West Ham United have planned here. Immediately they're looking for Martinez, and Rivier had to get that header correct. Lorena Hanshaw. Towards Ueki, there's Martinez! Oh, it's crept in! It's a sensational equaliser! And a moment of magic from Shakira Martinez, who scores in a 3rd consecutive WSL game.
Yeah, the ball comes in from Hanshaw, and Martinez does so well just to keep it alive, and Tullis-Joyce can't get hold of it, can't seem to get anywhere near it. As the ball comes into her, you see, does that come off her arm as she's tried to control it a little bit, and then it's come off the back into the goal of Tullis-Joyce. The audacity from Martinez to take that strike. And it's snuck in at the far post. It's not took a touch off Tullis-Joyce at all. It's a great finish from her.
Well, we've seen one of the better assists this season from Anna Sandberg, but that one is going to be tough to beat. As we look at the goals of the season, an early contender from Shakira Martinez. Her 3rd goal in as many WSL games. Wow, what a way to cap a week in which she made her senior international debut for Germany.
I don't think Fallon Tullis-Joyce expected her to take the strike there, as well as the defenders inside the box, and she's got her body positioning all wrong and can't get anywhere near the strike.
Well, Manchester United now need a response of their own. Crowd inside the Progress with Unity Stadium, a little shell-shocked. Not only did it catch Fallon Tullis-Joyce off guard, it's certainly silenced things here. Leanne Skinner will be delighted. All it required was one of their players to take a bit of a risk, try something a bit different in the attacking third. That's exactly what Martinez did, and when you have the quality that she has in her boots, sometimes those chances will pay off.
Yeah, it's almost the old age of you don't shoot, you don't score, isn't it? So she's took her opportunity there, and rightly so. She's been rewarded for it.
Can West Ham United capitalise? Well, the hosts are ever so slightly rocked here. It's Phil Morgan, it won't drop for her. Mallard's pursuing. Sent across towards Asseyi, and Tullis-Joyce this time took control of the situation.
Yeah, Tullis-Joyce not making any mistake on that occasion. She's a bit more alert and alive to it, just as Asseyi was, but she gets there first.
Here's Miyazawa, just trying to calm things down a bit for United and spring another attack with Mallard. Sandberg for support. Back with the France international. Trying to find a way past Endo. Martinez back there defending. And to say he can find Hanshaw.
Yeah, you could see what Manchester United were trying to do there, give the give and go with Melvin Mallard. It didn't quite play off on that occasion.
Well, it's worth another look, isn't it? This time in slow-mo.
You see she just sets it up for herself nicely. Tullis-Joy scrambling, sneaks in at that far post and she can't get anywhere near it.
Here's Sandberg, behind again. Park unable to connect with it. Rivier on the run at the far post. Plenty of power, couldn't keep the shot down.
Yeah, Sandberg and Rivier joining in really nicely, playing high up. She just takes the leather off the ball, can't even manage to get it on target on that occasion. You can see Ella Toon just saying, calm down, bit of composure there when we do get in a vital opportunity like that was. You're inside the 18-yard box.
You can see just how adventurous United have been, Manchester United that is, in this game. 13 shots, 5 of which on target. But West Ham United have been clinical. Oh, it's been pounced upon. Zigiotti leading the charge. Now with Melvin Mallard, charged down by Siret. Theo Morgan will gather this one at their own pace.
As you say, they've had the majority of the shots, Manchester United, but again on that occasion, West Ham limiting them to shots from distance. That time it was Mallard. They're going to have to be a little bit cuter and a little bit cleverer when they get in and around West Ham's box. And as you say, it's that clinical edge. West Ham have it. Manchester United not so much in the game so far.
Rivier didn't get there in time. It's been a fight back this season by Rihanna Skinner's side that has been built on grit and determination and belief. From the players to the coaches, fans as well have been in fine voice throughout this campaign, despite their tough start to the season. And if they are able to see out a result here, it will be 3 games unbeaten in the WSL. Having had their worst ever start to a league campaign with 7 consecutive defeats. Still a long, long way to go, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can underestimate just how difficult that will have been for the West Ham players mentally to stay in it and, you know, keep believing that they are good enough and that the performances will turn into points on the board eventually.
One back by Letizia. Front foot defending by the Manchester United skipper. Trying to lead by example and just get a bit more urgency into United's possession.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul there from Marseille. Riviera had the beating of her on this right-hand side on that occasion. Yeah, we'll see it again here. Just uses the arm to step across the body of Riviera.
West Ham United's first caution of the afternoon. As we've mentioned before, it is what Rihanna Skinner expects from her forward players. They're tracking back and just trying to disrupt the momentum and the rhythm of this Manchester United team. We now have a set piece. The left boot of Sandberg, the right of Zigiotti. Sandberg leads it. Zigiotti's ball in towards Mallard was headed clear. Miyazawa, the second time of asking. United have the ball in the West Ham United penalty area. Rivier punching one into the box. Dominic Janssen couldn't quite adjust in time. Sandberg will keep things alive. Now Letizia finding Miyazawa. Toon was making the run. And again, West Ham, just with so many bodies flooding inside that penalty area, making it so difficult to break down.
Yeah, they do, and they are making it really difficult, West Ham, for Manchester United, limiting them to few chances from the edge of the box, because they've got so many numbers within the, you know, their own 18-yard box.
Frustration will inevitably start to creep in for the hosts as well. Just as it did at times yesterday for Arsenal against Liverpool. It is a WSL weekend in which those teams competing at the top are playing against those who are fighting for their lives at the bottom. Ueki. Martinez wanted the early pullback. Ueki crossing, looking for Morgan. Out only as far as Endo, who found herself in a really good position on the edge of the Manchester United penalty area.
She did. As the ball just drops to her, you're just asking to get your body over it, get your head over the ball, and a bit of a lack of composure there from Endo on the edge of the box. You know, it's a fantastic chance for them.
Was signed as a right back, and of course came the switch to a back three formation, but she's made herself pretty at home on the right side of that back three. There was, though, an example of just how much she does enjoy getting forward. Perhaps she's missing that part of her game. Now tasked to stay back that bit more. She's Phil Morgan supporting her on this near side now.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting to see, obviously, how teams are playing nowadays in the Super League, as you just talked about the Arsenal-Liverpool game yesterday and today, where, you know, a side like West Ham, they're 11th in the table, they could easily have come to Manchester United today and sat bodies behind the ball and not look to attack and not look to go forward.
Zigliotti goes for goal, it's off the post, Turland on the follow-up. And Endo managed to get herself in the way. The offside flag did go up against Turland, but what a strike it was by Julia Zigliotti.
Yeah, the ball comes in from Maya Letizia. She does so well, Zigliotti, just to make herself a yard of space to come off the post. Left Shemek scrambling, gets herself out of the danger from two players, gets it out of her feet. It's a fantastic strike. Really unlucky there for Manchester United.
Shemek perhaps with the fingertip save in the end to deny Julia Zigliotti her first WSL goal in almost 3 years. Asai down the other end, forcing a low stop from Fallon Taylor-Joyce.
Yeah, there's definitely still belief in this West Ham side that they can stay within the game. They've got themselves back into the game, and I think they still smell that there could be goals for it in the game for them. Manchester United finding it really difficult to break down the West Ham back line.
Rivier, who was so prominent in the first half, has got the better of Hanshaw here. Looking for Mallard! Oh, she climbed so well, didn't she, inside the box? Couldn't keep the header down.
Again, another chance goes begging. It's a fantastic ball in from Rivier. Mallard can't direct the header goalward. Can't, you know, make the keeper work on that occasion. And again, you've seen the hands on the head from Mallard. She knows just how vital of an opportunity that was.
The shots are really stacking up now in Manchester United's favour. West Ham living a little dangerously, you could say. With the scoreline so finely poised.
Fantastic energy there again from the West Ham front two there in Martinez and Asai, just working really well together. I thought originally Martinez was quite isolated, but Asai does really well to join in and assist her with the press. And if they are to get anything out of this game, they're going to need that, and need that energy and that intensity in the defending. You know, for the rest of the 25 minutes or so left that we've got in the game, every single one of them is going to have to stay in it, not only physically, but mentally as well.
And the next test does come from Rivier again, this time from a throw-in. And that is going to be an incredibly soft free kick to give away. Dominic Janssen, who is actually the only Manchester United player to see red this season. This is sent off against Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, 2 arms in the back there from Janssen. I'm not sure she needed to do that, especially at this time and area in the game when you're getting in the opposition's box.
It's a long old way to run back, isn't it, into position when you're at centre-back joining the attack like that.
It is indeed. When you go all that way, you're expecting to get an outcome on the end of it.
Martinez, just too far ahead of Rico Ueki. There was a slight bit of confusion there between defender and goalkeeper.
There was. It was dealt with eventually, but maybe just a little bit of rustiness creeping in after being out for so long.
It is yet. Oh, that one's loose by Zighiotti. Mallard, give and go. Can she get there ahead of Fionn Morgan, who is quick? And Mallard has the strength to hold off the challenge. Toon. United's number 7 crosses in, away by Nystrom. Zighiotti can help it on its way and was caught, so free kick in a really promising position for Manchester United.
Yeah, it's really late from Asai as the ball just drops to Zighiotti on the edge of the box. Really unnecessary, and it's a really dangerous area now that they've got this free kick in Manchester United.
She's just been booked as well, Vivienne Asai, taking a bit of a risk. What you would say is it is an incredibly tall West Ham United wall, but there is space to get this one up and over. Dominic Janssen, in her later career, has certainly made a name for herself as a bit of a set-piece specialist. Anna Sandberg, given the delivery we saw from her earlier on in this game, may well just fancy this one. I feel as though her radar is very much on for where she wants to put the ball. It's a peculiar block behind the back of the wall, you have to say.
Sat on the floor, putting her...
Sat on the floor, stretching the legs out.
Trying to cover as much space as possible.
Janssen or Sandberg? It is Dominic Janssen. Oh, it's brilliant! She stepped up with confidence and she has delivered for her team.
What a strike this is from Janssen. It's a fantastic free kick. The West Ham wall can do absolutely nothing about it. It's the right foot of her past Shemik in the goal, in that far corner. She makes no mistake, really confident. Really great finish, and West Ham will be really disappointed within the way the manner in which they conceded that free kick in the first place, but Janssen makes no mistake.
When she was at Arsenal, she would talk about how often she would stay behind at training to practice her set pieces. She didn't get the opportunity to take many during her time in North London. But she has made that one there count. And Manchester United really needed a moment of magic themselves after West Ham had clawed themselves back into this game. And that is exactly what Dominic Janssen has conjured up here.
Yeah, and as you say, all those staying behind after training, all the practice, she's made it count there at a vital opportunity in this game. The shots were few and far between from Manchester United. They were coming from distance. West Ham were making it really difficult for them to find an opening. And then she's really capitalised on the opportunity there of a set piece from the edge of the box.
She had a few sighters for the Netherlands national team and Wolfsburg as well during her spell in Germany. And it puts Rhian Skinner under pressure again. Just under 20 minutes to go. Stick or twist time. Neither side actually has gone to their substitutes bench just yet.
You feel that if you're Manchester United, you're wanting to put this game to bed early on now and not allow West Ham another opportunity in front of goal.
That's exactly what they're trying to do with Jess Park. Onto her left foot this time, and Shemik was confident that one was flying well wide.
Yeah, we've seen Jess Park do that in games before where she cuts inside. Really confident play from her, especially to take the shot on her left foot. It can't quite sneak in at the inside of the post, but again, really positive play from her.
They have 15 minutes to try to change the course of this game, West Ham. They've done it once before. To come from behind to level up against United this afternoon. But it was a bit of a bolt from the blue from Martinez. Just a bit too much on it for Uweki.
The right idea on that occasion from West Ham, just the execution not quite there to find Uweki in the channel.
She's had to play much deeper this season, Dominique Janssen. We know that she has a fierce shot on her. More naturally a holding midfielder. She's had to strike up a defensive partnership with Maya Letizia.
Yeah, we see it again here, a fantastic strike. And the duck just in front of the wall just to help guide it into that far corner. You still get the sense from the West Ham team, though, that there's still belief in there, that they feel like they can still get themselves back into this game.
They have given a very good account of themselves, although chances have been few and far between. Going forward, they've stayed relatively intact at the back, undone by a fantastic cross from the left-hand side by Anna Sandberg, and then a set piece, which they were guilty of conceding all too easily. I don't think that their confidence will be too heavily dented by this game, because next Sunday it is a massive one for them at the bottom of the table. Liverpool at home in West Ham's final WSL game before Christmas, before they host Manchester City in the Subway Women's League Cup quarter-final. Change then, and first of all, it will be Manchester United looking to their substitutes, and it's Jade Rivier leaving the field, and Hannah Blundell coming on in her place. Of course, Hannah, having made her WSL return 7 months after giving birth to her daughter, Romy. She played the last 30 minutes of the Manchester derby last time out. She's getting a few more minutes in the tank this afternoon as well.
Yeah, and a really important time for her to come on as well. As you say, the scoreline is only 2-1, so she's going to be really key in using her experience along that Manchester United back line, in making sure that they keep West Ham out in these final closing stages of the game. You say West Ham obviously looking to next week's fixture against Liverpool. Really important that they get the points on the board next week, and looking to get their players back. You say we have not really spoke about it, but the players they have out injured as well.
That was hit by Gorry. Bit too close to trouble Valentulis-Joyce.
Yeah, comes in from the throw here. Gorry manages to get a shot off, but again, not enough to trouble Tullis-Joyce too much on that occasion.
Wakey it was, sliding in on Miyazawa. Morgan for Martinez. Finding Siren. Crossing opportunity for Martinez, who can hang one up towards Ueki. And that will go down as a big missed opportunity for West Ham.
Make no mistake, this is a fantastic chance here for Ueki inside the box. She needs to get that header on target, or at least make Tullis-Joyce work. Real opportunity there, missed for West Ham.
And the question is, will that be West Ham's last opportunity? Again, it serves as a bit of a cautionary tale for Manchester United.
Yeah, within the last couple of minutes, they've had Gorry having a strike on goal. They've then got Ueki having a chance. So there's still chances being created by West Ham. And we know how clinical they can be. We saw the goal from Martinez, so there's still opportunities there. In Manchester United, really important that they switch on at this vital moment in the game. 80 minutes, 10 minutes left to play.
One thing is for certain, they're not going to be cruising towards 3 points here. They're going to be made to fight right until the very end. The hosts in front of an attendance of 2,705. Punched forwards by Letizia. What a ball that turned out to be. She's so good at hitting the areas. Part for Miyazawa. Toon spotted the run of Turland.
Spotted the run, but the execution for me wasn't quite there. She's tried to drill it into her in the air. Actually, she's made a great run into space where she could have just drilled it along the floor.
Which is United readying a double change. Sandberg away from Morgan again. That's inviting. Toon can bring it down, and Corey's there just to scrabble away and try to get between the Manchester United players and the West Ham goal. Letizia.
For all this possession that Manchester United are having, you just want to see whether they can actually make it count. As it slows down, it's making it a little bit easy for West Ham to get themselves into shape.
Flicked on by Turland. Sigiotti first there. Now United will ring the changes.
Substitution for United.
Ella Toon, the first to leave the field. Unable to add to her 2 goals and 5 assists in the WSL this season.
Yeah, didn't get on the score sheet today, but she's worked really hard and worked tirelessly in that midfield, Ella Toon, today.
Elizabeth Turland, scorer of Manchester United's first goal, also leaving the field. So Simi Awujo coming on. Had to wait until matchday 7 for her first WSL involvement this season, but she's going to get the final 8 minutes here. So too is Friedlina Rolfo. Still waiting for her first WSL goal since her summer move. Has scored in 3 consecutive Women's Champions League games against PSG, Wolfsburg and Atletico as well.
Yeah, she's a very experienced player, isn't she, Friedlina Rolfo? All her experience at Barcelona, she'll be looking to bring that here within these closing stages of the game to help Manchester United see out this win and get the vital 3 points.
She is someone who has come with a vast amount of European pedigree and has helped them out in juggling their Champions League responsibilities this season. 9 points they've got in their debut Women's Champions League campaign. Rolfo says they can be proud of it, but it is a big opportunity for them to learn following the Wolfsburg defeat last time out. Say, losing out to Jess Park, who has, as ever, been diligent in her defending. Helps on for Sandberg. Stretching play brilliantly. Rolfo in behind. Onto the byline too. Her pullback was looking for Mallard. Sandberg first on the scene. Awujo loses her footing.
Yeah, now Rolfo come out onto this left-hand side. See Mallard just taking up a more central role, where we've seen her be so effective from in previous games.
Over the top from Park. One for Zigiotti to chase, and she's just marshalled off the pitch by Amber Tizyak.
Substitution for West Ham United, replacing the Rivier, number 27, Vanderland.
Change for West Ham. Leila Vonderla coming on in place of Rico Uweki. And you said about the importance of Uweki at the start of this game, Fern, and she always runs her socks off, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. I think she worked really hard again, hasn't managed to get herself onto the score sheet on this occasion.
One back high up the pitch. Here's Zigiotti. Just got caught in two minds there.
Yeah, it's not quite fell for her today, Zigiotti. Again, worked really hard to win the ball and get it, but again, to wide. Wild shot from Zigiotti home.
Here is Vonderla, first bit of involvement for her. Rondo in the way. Was able to pick out Mallard.
I think West Ham will be pleased with the way they've approached this game today, and obviously conceding 2 goals, they will be disappointed, but they've had opportunities to strike on goal, which again gives them positives and good learnings from today's game, especially against a team like Manchester United.
It is a 54th game in charge of West Ham United in the WSL, a 3rd season. It's a yellow card for Ivan Eastrom.
Yeah, hands up, pulling all over, and again, just a lunge right at the end. Mallard being really difficult to deal with as usual.
It's their first WSL start since Aston Villa at the start of October. Ivan Eastrom coming back into the side, having suffered an injury in the Subway Women's League Cup. Morgan back for Kingashemek, who gets right underneath that one. Vonderla will keep it alive. And it's back at the feet of Jess Park. Zigiotti finding Park, who goes for goal.
Nice little interchange there from Jess Park, and again, just using experience to get the given goal. It's another shot from distance from Manchester United, and they can't find a way through the West Ham back line again.
Blundell for Zigiotti. Janssen for Sandberg.
In the midfield too of Miyazawa as well, and Zigiotti home just doing really well to just control the possession now for Manchester United and slow the play down.
It's going to run all the way out of play, so that gives us a good opportunity then. Fern, time for you to select your Barclays player of the match.
Yeah, for me, I've gone with Anna Sandberg. I think not on that occasion, but she has been fantastic for me. Her energy and her endeavour down this left-hand side, and obviously getting the assist for Taylor's goal. I think she's been fantastic and deserved of the player of the match.
She's been an ever-present figure on the left-hand side of Manchester United's defence. As Fern says, she is full of energy, and she has the quality in her delivery as well. At 22 years old, she's only going to get better, the young Swede.
Yeah, that first goal as well in the first half came at such an important time when the game was creeping into 0-0 for a long time, and allowing West Ham to get back into the game, and she took the game by the scruff of the neck. It was a fantastic cross for the assist for Taylor's goal.
Here she is now, powering forward. In fact, she's been invited to dart into the space that West Ham allowed her. Here's Hannah Blundell. Miyazawa. Touched in field for Jess Park, and now Sam Berg. Much more confident and assured in possession now, Manchester United, as they can see themselves bouncing back to winning ways.
Yeah, and before that, giving away the ball there from Chikioti Olmo, I was just about to say it's clever play from them, and at a time when they know they've got a lot of fixtures coming up, and can they use and let the ball do the work a little bit, and retain their energy now coming out of this game, and hopefully taking away the, as you say, the 3 points. But for them, it's about they've got more and more fixtures coming up, and letting the ball do the work at this point in the game is really important, especially staying switched on as well mentally.
Here's Rolfo in behind, was looking to find the on-rushing Mallard. It will be kept alive by Awujo.
That was a fantastic ball from Janssen as well into Rolfo. Down on this left-hand side, she just finds a space similar to how May Letitia did it in the first half. And actually the first time they've put the ball in behind the West Ham back line instead of playing in front of them and making it easy for them. They just couldn't get quite on the end of it on that occasion.
The attendance this afternoon at Barclays Stadium, 2,705. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, even though I think quality's been lacking potentially a little bit from both teams really in terms of Manchester United and West Ham today, sometimes that's what the teams at the top have got to be able to do, and they've got to be able to find ways to win, and Manchester United potentially doing that today and maybe winning ugly at times, but they'll be happy that they'll be getting themselves back to winning ways, especially after those defeats to Manchester City and Aston Villa.
Manchester United end West Ham's recent resurgence to get back to winning ways and move up to third in the WSL. Turland it was who got them up and running, but a phenomenal overhead kick from Shakira Martinez threatens the Red Devils at the start of the second half. But then there was another moment of magic in store. Dominique Janssen from the free kick, able to secure a vital 3 points for the home side here as it finishes in the northwest. Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1. Well, Fern, it's brilliant, isn't it, for Manchester United to be able to end that recent run of defeats in the Women's Super League. We'll start with them first. Gives confidence ahead of what is going to be a huge week for them in their season. Lyon next in the Champions League, followed by Tottenham Hotspur next weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And, I've literally just spoke about it at the end of the game. I think they've got plenty of positive to take from today. I think for them, they will be looking at how many shots they created and how many goals they actually scored, and I think that's where they maybe need to shore up, especially coming up against more difficult teams. They need to be more clinical in front of goal, but look, they won't mind today. They've gone away with the 3 points, and as you say, they're back to winning ways. It'll give them a huge boost, confidence boost going into the midweek fixture and into the, as you say, the run of December fixtures that they've got coming up before Christmas.
For West Ham United, look, it's a defeat. It ends that recent unbeaten run that they've had. You can see the impact that it's having on their players as well. They're gutted because they left it all out there. It wasn't enough, but from a confidence point of view and from buying into Rianne Skinner's way of playing and what she expects from her team, they didn't put too many feet wrong today, did they?
No, I mean, you can't fault their attitude and, again, their drive and the desire within the game to try and stay in the game, and even when they went 1-0 behind, to come back into the game with Martinez's goal. And they do have players injured in Zadorsky and Denton, who've been key figures for them this season. So taking the positives within the game and how well they defended, especially at times within that first half. There was bodies on the line and there was a lot of clearances going on. So for them, they'll take a lot of positive from today's game, and they'll look towards the next fixture against Liverpool and trying to get another vital 3 points on the board.
You can see the unity there that Rianne Skinner is instilling in this squad. Every single player arm in arm. And of course, they were missing a couple of key players as well. So with them still to come back, that game against Liverpool now vital as they head into the new year.
Yeah, and I always find if you look at team talks and you look at the way when managers are talking and players are nodding in agreement, and you can see they believe and they're buying into the process. And as you say, the performances previously have been there and they've not got the results. Maybe today they didn't really get enough shots on target and didn't really make it as difficult as maybe they could have done for Fallon Tullis-Joyce. But I think there was some positives there for them to take, especially moving forward to try and lift themselves away from the bottom of the table.
And then, of course, they do have that quarter-final up against Manchester City as well. A chance of silverware. I do wonder whether that may be a distraction for them. For Manchester United, though, back to winning ways for them. Back up to third in the Women's Super League. They matched the challenge of Arsenal yesterday. They celebrate with their home fans. For now, though, let's head back down to pitch side where Harriet Pryor is speaking to match winner Dominique Janssen and Barclays Player of the Match, Anna Sandberg.
Well, congratulations to both of you. That looked like a really hard-fought game. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, I think overall I think we played pretty good. We had a lot of chances and I think we deserved to score more goals. But we're happy with the win.
Your manager was saying beforehand he wanted to see you play like you did at the start of the season and get that aggression. Do you feel like you brought that today?
Yeah, I really think we did. We've been talking a lot about it, to come back after the national team now and just play and enjoy with the ball. So I think I get the feeling that we're back again and with the enjoyment in the football. So yeah, I'm very proud with the team today.
Does it feel like this could be a good turning point for your season?
100%. It's always things you have to work on, but today I think it's a lot of positives to take, and I felt confident the whole game. Even though they scored, I felt like we were gonna score again. So yeah, and Dominic did. So yeah, I'm very proud of the team today.
We'll come on to your goal in just a second, but that's a result that puts you back into third in the table. Does that feel significant when you're looking at your season moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think today was very important to get back to winning ways, and we did. And I think the way that we played today, it shows that we're getting back into the rhythm. So yeah, overall very happy.
Well, you did it in some style, because that free kick was the first time that Man United have scored a direct free kick in the WSL since 2020. So congratulations. Talk us through that moment.
Yeah, I think it was funny because we were standing there together and we were discussing who's going to take it. And then it was like, are you confident? I feel confident. I don't feel confident. And then I said, all right, I'll take it. I feel confident. And yeah, the rest speaks for itself.
Well, on commentary, they were talking about how you used to stay behind and practice those a lot. Does it feel like some of that practice paid off in that moment?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the last few weeks, I've been practicing a bit more. So I'm very happy to score today.
And for the first goal, a great assist and a great ball in by you as well. Were you happy that Terlen got on the end of that one?
Yeah, I'm very happy, of course. I always want to help the team as much as I can with the goals and assists. And yeah, I've been working hard in just those situations, those crossing situations. So yeah, I'm very happy. It's a beautiful goal.
Well, congratulations, back to winning ways, and you also do take home the Barclays Player of the Match trophy. If you could hand that one over.
Wow. You deserve it so much. I'm so proud of you.
This is my first one.
Yay! She
Thank you.
deserved it.
But it's because of the team as well. Like, we work as a team and they make me play good as well. So it's to the whole team.
Congratulations to you both. Go and enjoy it.
Lovely to see the bond, isn't it, that the Manchester United players have. And Anna Samba, well, she is someone who is making great strides this season. Fern, you picked her as your Barclays Player of the Match. Talk us through exactly why.
Yeah, I think it's easy when you see, 0 goals scored. So, players of the match usually the goal scorers. But for me, she's creating chances, and she was really dangerous out on that left-hand side, and not only but offensively, but for me defensively as well. You can see it here with the tackles won and the clearances. I think she played really well within the game, and I think she deserved to get the Player of the Match for me. And potentially players like that go understated in games sometimes and maybe don't get the recognition, but for me I think she deserves that recognition today for the endeavour and the work rate that she produced.
She was flying up and down the left-hand side of the pitch here. We know what the full-time result was here, but let's see what else happened in today's fixtures. No surprises really, as Manchester City were able to hit 3 goals past Leicester City to extend their lead at the top of the Women's Super League table, ahead of Chelsea kicking off. And Brighton and Hove Albion managed to see off the challenge of London City Lionesses late on to hold on to that 1-0 victory. Finally, Tottenham Hotspur continue to mount a bit of an assault on those European places with a 2-1 victory over Aston Villa. So what does that then do for the standings? Well, we know that it moves Manchester United back up to 3rd in the Women's Super League table. Just 1 point behind Chelsea, but of course they do kick off in a matter of minutes, actually, against Everton. For West Ham United, well, look, they are still safe, not at the bottom of the table, but Liverpool do play in midweek away to Aston Villa, that rearranged game, and they will see that as a big, big opportunity to go back above West Ham United. Well, thank you as ever for joining us here. Thank you to Fern Whelan as well for her company and her insight. Finishes here in the Northwest. Full-time Manchester United 2, West Ham United 1.